Welcome to part 2 of Super Mario Brothers, and I'm
Is
probably
it
going
Christmas?
it's the snow level. It looks a lot better than this level did in the first one, I'll give it that. Yeah.
The first one was black and white, wasn't it?
Nah, it's on the NES. It's just a very limited colour palette.
Yeah.
And that, to me, the fact that that was on the NES, which had games like...
To be honest,
like,
if I was in the 80s, I wouldn't buy an NES.
no, I think the thing with the NES is that Nintendo, in true form as how they are now, they were being really fucking lazy. Because if you look how like crap Mario 1 looks compared to like Mega Man games on the NES,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, that weren't acceptable. I don't think. I think that looks absolute shite compared to that. And same with Zelda 1. It's just Nintendo being fucking lazy, as they quite often do. Yeah, we just passed some Hammer Brothers, which are going to be complete bitches to me later.
It's
in the
ingenious
playthrough.
how they do it though, they're fucking lazy sometimes, but
But
yeah,
it's money,
still
doesn't it?
people buy their shit, don't they?
Yeah. Nintendo, when they do well, they do something that's a really well polished product. But
Yeah,
most of the
I know what
time,
you mean.
like it's New Super Mario Brothers 12, yay! Yeah.
There hasn't been a Metroid game like on the Wii or Wii U since like 3 years ago with Other M.
And most people just wouldn't count Other M either,
Yeah.
because it's basically a whole game of Samus moaning. Yeah, like I don't even care much for Metroid, but Other M voice acting in that game is abysmal. Yeah. Am I gonna die to the same section again?
Metroid Fusion's quite good.
Is that the Game Boy one? Game Boy Advance?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well,
It's alright.
That's a chronologically last in the series.
Yeah, oh yeah, Metroid's got a confusing as fuck timeline and all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nintendo, they don't do story,
Other
but when
M
they
is
do it,
near
makes
the
no
end.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't Other M meant to be a sequel to Super Metroid?
Yeah, it is, yeah, but it's near the end of the timeline for some
Yeah.
reason.
Where did the Prime games go?
They're just there.
They're just there.
Yeah, essentially, they're like the sort of the side entries. It's sort of like with Legend of Zelda, like, you know, like
Yeah.
Link's Awakening, those sort of side games, and like
To
the
be-
Oracle ones.
To be fair to Zelda though, at least that doesn't try.
Yeah.
Metroid, they tried to get like a timeline going, but it just ends up confusing everything. Whereas Zelda, you know not to bother
It's
trying. 'cause
heavily
the games
based
have
off
nothing.
Alien, like the games, like.
Yeah,
That's
it's got that
Alien.
sort of aesthetic.
Plus, it's the main one of the main villains that come back. It's called Ridley.
Yeah, I like Ridley. He's basically a giant evil Aerodactyl.
Apparently, he's left-handed.
Yeah, a lot of Nintendo characters are, because I know Link is as well.
What is Mario? Is he ambidextrous?
I don't think we've seen Mario doing anything that would show it. Actually, I think he's right-handed in
Yeah, he's
the
right.
tennis games and that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Right-handed.
Yeah.
I don't know what Ouija is.
Ouija, I get the feeling he'd be a lefty, but just because
That's what I think.
he's different in every other way, isn't he?
Yeah. Is there actually been generally an ambidextrous character in any game?
I
it doesn't matter what hands they
Well,
use.
technically, any like sports game or anything which lets the player pick, that counts. Unless you count Link because of the Wii version of Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Because that,
Many people try and forget about that game.
well,
It's not the best. It's just
what I've heard
Just
with
there.
that is a lot of people tend to like the GameCube version but weren't too keen on the Wii one.
yeah.
Which I can kind of see the primitive Wii Sword controls that don't sound that appealing to me. Swords later on, like Red Steel 2 and that, they sort of pulled it off once the Wii Motion Plus had come about. And Sonic and Black Knight pulled it off really
I
well.
have Red Steel 2, that is actually a decent
I
game.
had the first one.
I've tried playing the first one, basically unplayable. But what I've played of the second one, it seems okay. Yeah. It's...
I don't know too much about the story. It's about a samurai, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't
and
know
it's-
anything about the story.
First one has absolutely abysmal motion controls. It's sort of balanced out with the Motion Plus in Red Steel 2, but yeah.
Red Steel 2 is easy to play.
What is Motion Plus?
It's basically, I think it adds another gyro sensor into it so you get more accurate kind of motion sensing in the Wii remote.
Oh,
And I know they had a few games that came out around the time. I think Red Steel 2 was the one that a lot of people pushed as get a Motion Plus, it's worth it. I think Skyward Sword came packed with it, didn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. and all the Wii remotes now have it built in.
Yeah, it looks alright, but it's not my favourite Skyward Sword.
I know a lot of people don't like that game, but
Why?
I'm not sure. It's just one I hear a lot of people tend to try and avoid. But I know very little about the Zelda series to kind of give a full.
So what do most people dislike out of the Zelda game? I know Zelda 2 is shit.
Yeah, I don't like the NES Zelda games at all. That's just my experience because I just find them.
I don't know what the fan base dislikes the most though.
The fan base hates everything, Joe. Have you
I
not
know,
ever seen
but-
Zelda fans talking about things?
Fan bases hate everything.
They're not. At least they're not as bad as the Sonic fan base.
I don't know. At least
But at least they do have a reason to moan because their
Yeah.
games do turn out to be shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Got me.
Yeah. So the thing with
What-
Sonic fans is that Sonic fans do reject shit.
Yeah, I
whereas
don't get it then because Zelda games when they do come out, yeah, they're not perfect. They are pretty decent games. I mean, they've got a good story, but yet they moan.
yeah. Well, it's just people are very particular with certain things, and there are things that often get written off as nitpicks when they're not, and that annoys me.
Yeah.
Like with Lost World and that, people are saying, "Well, you need to learn the game." And that I shouldn't have to learn a Sonic game.
It takes a couple of seconds.
What, when it doesn't explain that you need to kick this enemy or charge home and shot
It's
that
a
one?
process of elimination. It's
Oh,
like
I'm just
2
gonna switch off
buttons.
Yeah, but
My
that's just
God.
It's,
2 seconds of my time wasted. Oh,
yeah,
this
In-
game's shit.
yeah, in do or die situations, and these kind of jumps make me nervous in these games. And it's just because I know how I can't work the jump controls properly, so I try being extra careful, which normally ends up fucking me over in the process. And
The
there's
middle one is.
yeah, I know it's one of them, but
Should have just waited for a platform to come down and then it could guard it off.
but didn't. This is going to happen a lot in this playthrough, by the way.
There's a secret warp zone here as well.
Yeah, there's
But
quite.
it only takes you one level
Yeah.
higher.
There's actually one in Lost Levels in these sort of points where you can actually get stuck on the top one to the point where you have to reset the game. Just because it's got the screen lock on it, so you can't go backwards.
Yeah.
And I saw in the Brain Scratch playthrough, Ryan managed to get himself like stuck up the top in a section like that one at the top there, but it was one that you quite clearly weren't meant to go up to. So like it got too far. The screen ended on the right, but you can't go back left. So basically, you're stuck up the top. Yeah, Lost Levels isn't that great of a game, to be honest. Yeah. And that's the end of that level. I know
So are they going to do with Sonic Colors too?
well, that's what Lost World was meant to be, but they basically just shat all over it.
No, they didn't.
Look, them wisps, like, I know they've patched up something
Yeah,
now,
they patched it out.
They don't have any reason to be there.
There was
do they?
one wisp that controlled like shit, and that was the Eagle Wisp. The Asteroid Wisp appears like twice. It's easy to control.
What
but
about that
use those
stupid
all
music thing
pointless.
that you basically just have to mash the screen to get to work?
Yeah, that takes like a couple of seconds to get used to.
It's just, it shouldn't be there. It's bullshit. It shouldn't be there.
What is this about a butterfly game you have to do or something?
What? Oh, the little.
Butterfly.
Oh, there's a few sections there. Nothing to worry about. They're
Yeah.
just sections you have to collect butterflies and on the levels. And
It's like a couple of seconds, and that's it.
is that what she said? Yeah. I'll bring this commentary down, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a level that actually looks different to the ones before it.
Two of the smiley clouds.
Yeah, they're kind of unnerving.
Yeah.
Like, especially in Lost Levels and that, when you're dying over and over and they're just sort of smiling creepy in the background.
Just
Watch
looking at your
him
corpse.
die.
Yeah. All I know about plumbers is that they don't wear ties. There we go.
Oh, that's so funny, AVG, really.
Oh, I'll just watch the rest of it. There's them kind of games, aren't there? That
Where there's the panda heads near the... And then you got what is it? The guy...
I can't
the
remember.
narrator, and he's like has a fight with some random karate chick, and there's just gunshots over the screen, and there's dogs clapping. That's just an insight of it. The worst is yet to come. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't even explained it.
Yeah, that's not. But yeah, there's a lot of them kind of low budget 3DO games that just really shouldn't have ever happened.
Yeah.
And now we've got 4
Yeah,
turns.
That's the thing. In the early to like mid-90s, there was a load of shitty consoles that were spurring that, and like nobody played them, so they just got discontinued there and then because it was like a market war, wasn't it, between the Genesis and the Super Nintendo?
Well, I think a lot of them were that little bit beforehand because there was like the Great Crash, wasn't there? Which basically the industry died for a few years.
Was that for ET because of ET?
Well, it's that sort of game, the fact that so much was being pumped out that no one wanted to actually play.
There's actually like copies that have been buried in the New Mexico desert.
Yeah, they printed too many copies more than people wanted to buy.
So they just tipped it like, there you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and pass over.
Yeah.